due to legislative activity and operational needs associated with the Shreveport location. Overall program expenditures remain below budget expectations. While some categories experience decreases, certain areas increased due to operational needs. Professional services increased primarily due to expanded testing activity, examiner fees, custodial costs, and ongoing technology and database support services associated with online renewals and applications. The board also notes that operating costs associated with maintaining 2 facilities contributed to increased supply and operational expenses during the fiscal year. Additional transparency measures have been incorporated into the amended budget process, including supporting reference pages and expenditure breakdowns to provide the board and the public with a clearer understanding of budget adjustments and financial reporting. And then we also, just to support the briefings, Mr. Chairman, we inserted the pages that reflect the changes, the amendments, and we sent this out Monday. I'm sure that all the board members had enough time to review everything. Kevin, did you get a chance to review everything? I know we had a little snag with you getting that binder. Did you get all the information you need? Motion to accept the amended budget, to accept our total assets on hand, and that's my report. That binder. Did you get all the information you need?
Second.
All in favor? Motion approved.
Motion to accept the amended budget, to accept our total assets on hand, and that's my report. That binder. Did you get all the information you need?
Second.
All in favor?
Mr. Chairman, if I may have the floor just for 1 minute. I just want a motion to accept the amended budget, to accept just our total assets on hand. We met with the CPA, we had a Zoom call, went through everything, all the documents was prepared. When we went through everything line item by line item, and they prepared the briefings to make it a lot easier to understand all the changes that we made. And I just want, once again, I just want to compliment Ashley and her staff, Casey, for doing such an outstanding job.
So for the record, the plumbing board is not broke.
Yes, sir. They're not broken.
Just want-
As you can see, the total
I
assets.
just want that on the record.
Yeah. With the exception that our interest wasn't quite as much as I thought it was.
It's not 16,000?
I don't know. Them numbers was all
We're trying.
they were jumbled around. But I tell you what, I wish that we did have CDs invested where we generate that type of percentage, but that's not the case.
I do have a question. I know we weren't moving, but I do have a question on the enforcement officer wages on 26, 27. What do we, I know we talked about coming out of session, we're probably gonna have to amend this budget to do a different program. What are we currently budgeting for in enforcement?
So I do want to state for the record while we're here, and I have a couple things in my report. Obviously, based on legislation, this budget was projected based on our current projections. So what we projected in this particular budget for enforcement was 3 part-time enforcement officers, the vehicles, the computers for both Shreveport and Baton Rouge, the build-out for Shreveport. We upped our supplies and we upped our travel. So everything that we did on this current budget was us projecting where we were. However, I do want to state on the record that we should expect that we will have to amend this budget depending on the posture of the bill. Quite largely. So I just want to make sure that you guys are aware that while this budget sits here in this posture, is going to completely depend on the posture of the bill.
Just one quick question. Posture in terms of more expenses than revenue beyond what's already here?
Yes, more expenses beyond what we have already budgeted for. And that's just based on amendments, what's going to be required from us, additional staff, additional changes in our database to be able to comply with some of these items, essentially our operation. So yes, well, I would expect that we would see a rather large increase in expenses.
That would exceed our actual revenue.
I wouldn't say that it would, it would exceed what we budgeted for this particular, for next year, for the next budget cycle. We're in a place right now that those expenditures would not be ongoing. A lot of those expenditures would be a one-time thing. I can't tell you what those projections are right now based on where we are, but I can certainly report to you guys once we kind of see what all that's going to cost. But I understand the question.
We should have a clear idea for the next meeting.
I think that we're going to have a clear idea of where we stand, yes, sir. And we can start working towards what these expenditures look like, yes.
Yeah, and as you can remember, Trey, you worked on that committee, and so there was a budget number for a salary cap for full-time, for Nicholas, full-time enforcement officer. So if we bring the additional 3 on, then that's going to be whatever that salary cap was. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yes, sir. Okay. I just wanted to.
So that would be included.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Executive Director's Report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. While there continues to be a plethora of legislation this session that not only impacts the plumbing industry, I also want to make you aware that there are potential bills that affect the operations, retirement system, civil service matter, our staffing structure, and just overall internal policies and procedures. Each year, you can expect that the state will change policies and procedures, how we operate, and we are tasked and will continue to monitor these bills. We always make sure to inform you guys of changes, and so we can expect after August, all of those changes will be compiled in a report, and we will be moving forward with whatever changes are required through the actual legislature. I do want to specifically mention House Bill 953 as it remains a rather large bill that our agency is receiving many phone calls from the industry. So I just want to make sure that on the record, as far as 953, as it remains the primary legislation directly affecting the State Plumbing Board, the current posture as amended places regulatory and licensing authority for plumbers back under the jurisdiction of the State Plumbing Board of Louisiana. However, the most recent amendments continue to make significant changes involving license classification, residential licensing provisions, reciprocity considerations, administrative authority, and the overall regulatory structure affecting the plumbing industry. The legislation remains scheduled for Senate floor consideration, and obviously that bill is continuing to be monitored. Again, do want to make sure that these amendments or changes that impact the board's operations, that you all know that once that's completed, we will need to look at how that amends our laws and the fiscal planning that's going to be required for it. Once the final legislative posture is determined, we'll be in a better position to move forward with long-term operational planning, administration, implementation, fiscal adjustments, and anything that may be necessary. So I'll try not to repeat myself, but again, additionally, as reflected during Mr. Fabra's budget discussion, portions of the agency's current budget planning were developed based on anticipated operational and regulatory changes under prior budgetary years, but due to the evolving nature of pending legislation, staff anticipates that future budget amendments and operational adjustments will be necessary once final legislation occurs. I just wanted to make sure that the matter was noted on the record that any future amendments, reallocations, operational changes, or fiscal modifications can be addressed in accordance with applicable state policies, procedures, and budgetary requirements. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That concludes my report.
Okay, old business exam reports. We got 12 exams that were given. Now to 12, we had 6 times that somebody had to fill in because the people didn't show up. Guys, we need to, you know, we get the schedule every year. We can plan in advance. We pick out our own dates to sit in on the exam, and we're not showing up. You know, I got called. I mean, I agreed to sit in on the May 30th exam, but then they called me about May 23rd. You know, this is part of our responsibility as a board member, so we really need to work on adhering to our responsibilities. And you know, if you can't make it, or one of us can't make it, instead of having staff reach out, maybe we would reach out ourselves to somebody and say, hey, can you help me out or something, you know, so we wouldn't have such a burden on them, and let them, because you know, Ashley sitting there filling in, or somebody at the staff, that's not their job, that's our job. We accepted that responsibility, and we just need to honor our responsibility. All right, that's enough of my soapbox. New business. Unclassified personnel merit increase. Ricky.
Sir, do we need a motion to accept the exam reports?
Okay, motion to accept the
Exam reports? Okay.
If there's no issues or anything?
Yeah.
If we had anything?
We don't.
Thank you.
No action.
Sorry about that.
No.
All right, Ricky.
Yes, sir.
Unclassified personnel merit increase.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, every year, we revisit this with the cost of living increase. And, you know, I just got through complimenting staff, Ashley. So I would like to entertain, the board to support a 4% increase, cost of living increase across the board, from the executive director down to all staff, board members. If I could entertain a motion on that, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, motion.
Before we move on, don't forget that on these action items under new business, we have to make sure we consider this public comment.
All right, do we have public comment?
No, sir.
Any
So
questions?
moved. Did you, I don't know if you had a motion
Do you
yet.
have a motion?
Second.
Motion by Jake.
Second.
by Johnny.
Is it in the budget? I guess the only question. What we were budgeted for, Mr. Ricky?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Yes, we did figure that in.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion accepted. Approved. All right, regulatory rule change committee reappointment. Trey?
Thank you, sir. In light of the anticipated legislative changes coming to our board, it is going to require significant regulatory rule changes. So as you all know, we have a committee, but that committee, since its annual members roll off of this board. So I would like to propose a motion for the reactivation of the regulatory rule change committee and I would like to nominate the following members for that committee. I would like to nominate Mr. Mike Joyner, Mr. Kevin Brown, Mr. Terry Smith, myself, and Mr. Aubrey Brand to participate on that committee.
You have a motion?
That was in the form of a motion.
Okay, do you have a
I'll
second?
second that.
All in favor? Any opposed? And we do anticipate this being a very active committee, by the way. All right, consideration of authorization regulatory rule change committee to review trade.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Also, in same preface as before, these legislative changes will be coming out by the summer. We know that the board meeting schedule for 2026 is set by law. The previous year, we have 2 board meetings left. These changes will require swift action to accomplish those things in the new statute. So I'm asking for the board to consider empowering the Regulatory Rule Change Committee to review, coordinate the legal drafting, and submit for final ratification to this board, but give them some authority to draft and send those rules up, and we can have a final ratification of this board. But they are going to need to move and enact things swiftly, more so than our current battle rhythm of board meetings. I'd like to put that in the form of a motion to empower the Regulatory Rule Change Committee to review, coordinate legal drafting, and enact rule amendments and submit to this board for final ratification.
So can I comment briefly? So, one of the things we don't know yet is whether or not the changes that ultimately are passed by the legislation are going to be required to be implemented by August 1 or by January 1. And if it's August 1, your next board meeting is August 20, if it's August 1, it would already require, I had a meeting yesterday with a person in my office who has been doing your rule changes for the last 10 to 15 years, and she's incredible. She actually retired last year, but agreed to stay on board and do contract work for us to do your rule changes, because, to quote her, she doesn't want anyone messing up your beautiful rules. But she said that she would think that we would need to seek expedited hearing of those rules and expedited approval, and it can be done, but it's going to take quick action. We're not going to be able to wait till August the 20th at your next meeting date, and I think that's the nature of Trey's board member DeGrio's motion.
Thank you.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ashley? You opposed?
No. Premature. If I could, Mr. Chairman, we do have a public comment card for item under new business B, and we also need to name the chairman for that committee.
So we need to go back and revisit item B on the new business.
On the people that you nominated for that committee, I'm sorry, Joe Moranto, Local Union 198. On the names that you proposed for the committee, it was equal number of board members from UA-PHCC. I saw one advisory committee member on there from PHCC. Can we get an equal UA-PHCC on that committee as well?
We can. There has to be the idea is that the chair is not a voting member, so it's 2 and 2, and then the chair breaks a tie, because if we have an even number, then you can't. But I'll defer to legal on how many members a committee normally has to.
I mean, there's no regulatory restriction.
Okay.
Having said that, you don't want to have an even number. I mean, you don't want it to be that, you have to be able to break a tie. So I guess if you appointed one more person and the chair doesn't vote, but then the chair would never vote in theory. I don't know how you guys feel about that. That's something you might want to consider.
It's your pleasure. I just want to bring it up. Thank you.
I mean, we do have two, Mr. Brown and Mr. Joyner are both on the committee, so I think it's your pleasure as to whether you want to put another advisory board member on that committee.
Are you ex officio? You ever put it about Mr. Bob, or what do you want to do? Sure.
Okay. I'm ready to revisit the. Thank you, Mr. Rando. My time?
Do you want to address that actually?
I'd like to hear.
Okay, what we're going to do, I'm going to redo my motion here, because I think it's best that maybe we just, keep advisory off of the committee, so I would like to replace Mr. Brand with Mr. Causey. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, Jake.
I love rules.
See what you do when you correct me?
And,
Be glad to help.
I'm gonna self-nominate to chair the committee, since I'm well read into what's going on the legislation.
So to the extent the advisory committee can be informed of the activities of the committee, and of course, those committee meetings are gonna be public, so the advisory committee members can certainly attend and give comments at those meetings, so we're certainly not excluding the advisory committee's participation in or opinions on the issues. But I think it probably is wise to not have that confusion.
Yep, that's my motion.
Okay, do I have another second? Second. All right, all in favor? All right, motion,
I got one more
okay.
thing on new business. I'm gonna throw Ashley a curveball here. In light of this committee work, I would like to nominate Mr. Joyner to replace myself as the building committee chairman for the building committee. Yeah, well, they compensated for that, but I think his experience and facilities and all that, we're at a good point for him to take over that committee.
Do I have a second for that?
Second.
All in favor? So moved.
Here.
Go teach him to miss a meeting. That's what happens when you don't show up.
Next meeting date is August 20th. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Jeez.
No, right?
Wow, Mike's gonna kill me.
I know, right?